since we're both still kind of relatively new to Toronto, when you first moved to Toronto, so we both moved back in 2017, around September 2017. So we've been here for like a year and a half. And I noticed that there were some things that were surprising to me or kind of gave me a culture shock, even though we came from Vancouver and it's part of the same country. So I wanted to talk about that, like what were things when we first moved to Toronto that were surprising to us or gave us kind of like culture shock or just was different than, you know, what we experienced or how we lived in Vancouver. That would be interesting to talk about, especially for other people that are new to Toronto or moving to Toronto as well. I feel like, I'm going to start off. Yeah. There's one thing. There's one thing I just remember very clearly because I was so confused when I first came. When I first came and I met some people from Toronto, one thing, like someone texted me or like a few people texted me and I just like didn't know what they were saying, so I would just like always ignore it, and then they would like ask me multiple questions after. They would write WYS question mark. WYS question mark.
What is? I don't even
you don't know what it is?
is?
Okay, I'll say the full sentence and then you can see if you know. I think you know, but at first I was just like, WYS, huh? and I'll be like, what? And then they'll be like, what you say? What are you saying? Like, what you saying?
Oh, really?
Yeah. Wait, have you never heard of this?
No one's texted me this
Really?
before.
So, do you know what I'm talking about?
No.
Oh, shit. Okay. I'm educating someone.
Yeah,
now.
I learned something here.
So, what you saying or what are you saying means what are you doing? So,
what?
Yeah. You never heard this?
No. In Toronto?
Yeah.
What?
Yeah. Search it up. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
So that's what they say here. Like
so WYS.
WYS.
Okay.
That's a shorthand. So most
Yeah.
people will just text you WYS question mark.
Whoa.
Like, what are you doing right now?
Yeah.
But I didn't know at first, and then they're like, what you saying? I'm like, what am I saying? I'm not saying anything. And then they're like, it means what are you doing? And then I was like, oh, like no one in Vancouver says that. Like no one. This is completely like a Toronto thing. I don't know like other parts of the world if they say this, but yeah, so that was like one thing. I remember very apparent because when I first came, I met a bunch of people and then, you know, we would like meet up and stuff. Yeah, people would say that to me all the time. I'm just like, whoa, that's like a thing here. So I learned something new. Yeah. You're more of a Torontonian now.
I'm gonna blend in better. I'm gonna text my coworkers that tomorrow.
Yeah, do it. Be like, what do you say?
In an email. WYS?
WYS, do it, please.
Work email.
Yeah. No, try it out this week.
Yeah,
I
actually will.
Try it on locals and then let me know what happens. We'll follow up and let you guys know what happens in Ina's life next time.
Oh my god, that's funny.
Yeah, so that was one thing. You go.
Mine is like also related to like a word, but I've had so many people say nona and no. And for the longest time because I heard for the first time no, and I was like, what are you saying no to?
She actually just told me this like an hour ago, and she was like, no. I was like, no, what? So
yeah, and then I eventually like while you're talking about it, you kind of start to get the context of things because I'm like, oh yeah, my no was in the hospital. I'm like, who? What? And then it's I think there are a lot of Italians or like Portuguese, and they use nona and no here.
Right. So it's like is it Italian?
Yeah. So nona is grandma, and I think no is like grandpa, like a very colloquial way of saying it.
Is it because there are a lot of Italians in Toronto? I don't even know.
Yeah, I think there's a huge Italian and Portuguese. Like there's a little Portugal, right? Kind of little Portugal, and I think there's little Italy. So I assume that there's a lot more than Vancouver.
Yeah, I've never heard of that.
Yeah.
Either. Okay. That's very cool.
Yeah, no. Use it.
Okay.
New vocab for you guys if you don't. If you
what
didn't
you
know.
saying and no.
Yeah.
On the note of like different cultures and everything, that's another thing I noticed about Toronto, which I really, really like. So coming from Vancouver, I feel like living in Vancouver most of my life, I thought Vancouver was multicultural. I thought like in general Canada was multicultural, but after I came to Toronto, I feel like Toronto is probably the most diverse city I've been to, like because I travel a lot too and I see other cultures. And yes, it's true that like other places or other cities have different cultures, but what I like about Toronto is I feel like everyone's like mixed. So in Vancouver, even though it was like multicultural, I feel like a lot of people kind of hang out with the same people and like kind of stick with like to be blunt, like the same race. Like you'll see like groups of like Asian people or like groups of like just like different cultures will just like gather in their own groups. And obviously you hang out with other people too, but it's definitely not as like mixed as Toronto. But after I came here, like everywhere I go on the TTC, like at malls, like everywhere, you see like groups of friends that are like completely diverse, and then people just all like get along and like hang out with each other, and I love that. And I feel like Toronto's the first place I've seen that at. Like I go to other places and it could be like it's just not as like well mixed. So I just feel like
it's true.
It
feels like from Disney, it's a small world after all, where all the kids from every race are holding hands.
I love that. And I feel like it's so easy to, well, and I don't know, maybe because I do talk to some locals, and some local people here, they do say that like, oh, people still do get cliquey and stuff, but I feel like maybe only people that grew up here realize it more, because like obviously if you grow up here, you're gonna hang out with like all your friends and you know people for a longer time. But everyone I met so far, and a lot of people, I live downtown Toronto, so a lot of people I do meet aren't from here. I just feel like everyone's always so open to just like meet new people, and they don't see like race, gender, color, like whatever. So I really like that. So that was like another kind of like culture shock thing, but in a good way. So
when I guess it's kind of like a branch of that, but like Jamaican food.
You always talk about that.
I had Jamaican patty for the first time, because I don't think there's a place in Vancouver that has like an authentic Jamaican patty.
There probably is, but not like
no one talks
here.
about it. And here, everyone's like, "Did you have a patty? Did you try a patty?" And so I remember it was the first like week I was here. I went to Kensington Market, and then I tried the Jamaican patty, and my God, it's just like
she kept talking about it. Oh my gosh, you're talking specifically. Give a little plug. What are you talking about? Golden patty?
Golden
Golden
patties.
Golden patty.
It was really good. It's
super
like
cheap
adult, like it's $2
and
there's
different flavors.
Delicious.
It's really good.
And I think like you don't, like you kind of forget what you're missing, or you don't even know what you don't know in Vancouver. So every time now someone comes from Vancouver, I'm like, you gotta try a Jamaican patty, and I take them to Kensington Market.
Another thing I love is, do you notice that in Vancouver, and I think there was like some sort of like law restriction before, but there's not a lot of places that have a happy hour. I think more and more a little bit, but here in Toronto, like almost every restaurant has happy hour. I love it.
And I find that in Vancouver, happy hour is like from
like 4 to 6,
3 to 5.
Yeah,
and
or
you're
like 4 to 5.
It's very short, like
4:30 to 5.
Like very short, and then you obviously aren't off of work like at 4 o'clock in the afternoon.
It's like truly only on times that no one is available.
And then here, I go to places and the happy hour is like 5 till 9 p.m.
I'm like,
I love it. The whole night.
It's
so
great.
true. That's good.
Yeah, that's a good one. Most places are like pretty long. It's like usually like 4 to 8, I feel like. And then it's good that so it's not just like drinks. They normally do like a lot of like cheaper foods as well. So I love that. So that's another good one.
It's a good one. Yeah.
Do you have any more? I feel like there's a lot more, but what do you think? Is there anything like standing? Is there any other like vocabulary or like language thing wise? I think another quick thing is like, I think a lot of people here in Toronto are very one thing, like even with this whole like NiuViews thing, I'm inspired to try new ideas, because I feel like, not to like say people in Vancouver don't, but so many people I meet here, like beyond their day jobs, they have like some sort of side hustle, or like they're trying different things, and like they do all these like different things, and it just like motivated me to not be afraid to try new things as well. So I think that's another, like the faster lifestyle here, which
everyone's always trying to make it doing something else aside from their full-time job.
But I love it. It's like it's busy, fast paced, and so
I also notice like people in Toronto walk slightly faster than people in Vancouver.
I love that.
I feel like they're always trying to get somewhere. I do see the difference between when people say like West Coast is a lot more chill, and then East Coast is obviously more hustle. So.
And like, we're not saying one is better than the other. I think like for me, I like the fast paced style more, but I do know a lot of people that do love Vancouver. Like every time I ask, we're comparing Toronto and Vancouver again, but every time I ask different people, like some people love Vancouver, some people love Toronto. So it depends on your lifestyle, but we love it here. Yes. Okay.
Love.
Love.